Here's the picture of the Jeep at the Arctic Circle.
All right, I'm going to help these nice folk by making sure they get to Coldfoot. They will make it by themselves. But he says he has a half a tank of gas. So if he made it this far with a full tank of gas, he's well over halfway to Coldfoot.
Take the next left onto 88 APL Road, then turn right onto Alaska 11 North.
I didn't know this was Highway 11. I didn't even know this highway had a number. I've just always known it as the Dalton Highway.
Right onto Alaska 11 North.
Oh, shit. We are going to be going slow.
Continue on Alaska 11 North for 60 miles.
Oh, well. Well, that was kind of cool. So we got a couple of tourists, like 4 of them, 3 of them women, from Spain. I think that's what they said. And they are in a rental motorhome, which they are going to get in a lot of trouble for bringing up here, but that's okay. Money's money. And they are fearful that they are going to run out of gas before they get to Coldfoot, which is 59 miles away. And as I was putting the last drop of my spare gas in the Jeep, she asked me if I had any more fuel, and of course I didn't. So I'm going to make sure they make it to Coldfoot. Whether that be going to Coldfoot and getting fuel, which is my inclination, and then bringing it back to them as I pass them on the road. But we have a mission. All right, Captain, we have a mission, and the mission wasn't to eat my fucking donut. You are now grounded for that. Yeah, you're not going to get any water either. Ha! Shouldn't eat my donut. I'm kind of ruthless about my donuts. So anyway, these guys are going to go really slow in their rented motorhome. Which is why I told them that I would go ahead and I would fill up my fuel and I would come back to them. But then the guy, I talked to him, and he indicated he had a half a tank of gas. Oh, there's the bicyclist. You gotta have a bicyclist up here, because you just do. If you don't pass a bicyclist, you weren't in the backcountry. There's always a bike. There's always a guy on a bike, no matter how far from hell you are. It always makes me thankful I ain't him. Anyway, back to rescuing the damsels in distress. I'm going to go to Coldfoot, get 6 gallons of gas. I will meet them on the way back. I'm behind this truck, which will keep me going slow enough that I can keep them in my rear view mirror. Until I lose patience and have to pass the truck. Because y'all know me, that's going to happen, right? Yes, it is. All right, bye. where Coldfoot was on the map, and so we could use the translator feature so they could half-ass understand what I was saying. So, alright. See these things on the side of the road? Those are called delimiters. And they're there to tell the snowplow where the edge of the road is. Because when the snow gets howling up here, you can't tell. You have no idea where the road is. Even if you're in a snowplow and just plowed it. So those are kind of common in the mountain passes around Alaska. In Colorado, I've seen them in Utah. I don't know where else I've seen them. Saw them in Colorado for sure. I think I saw some in Utah. Alright, so we are back on track. Says I got 65 miles worth of fuel and 56 miles to go. So as long as that stays that way for a while, it should be okay. I'm definitely hauling a lot more weight with all this mud. Showing we have 10 miles to spare. Connection rock. Wonder what they mean by that. North Slope at Oil Camp. I was going down the road and I passed a semi and he threw a rock the size of my fist and it came through the window and landed in my lap. So, I cringe when I pass semis on dirt roads. And believe it or not, that same night, I passed B70, which is like an earth mover, and he threw a rock the size of my head, and he took out my mirror on the truck, on the rental truck that I had up there. So, that was a pretty cool story. Except it was really, really cold. Dead of winter, of course, because that's when I usually worked up there, was in the winter. And I was between Dead Horse and Cabarrus, which is 40 miles. Seems like it's further. But there was no place to stop. There was no relief from the cold air coming in the window that was shattered. Fortunately, it wasn't my front window. It actually came in my side window. That was way before the time of cell phone cameras, so... Ooh, look at Bunny Rabbit. Look out, Bunny Rabbit. No shit. Bunny Rabbit all the way up here. That's pretty cool. That means there's lynx up here, fox at least for sure. I don't see why there wouldn't be lynx too. Surprised we haven't seen any caribou. So the caribou should be still crossing the Dalton Highway. Probably further north than we're going to go, because they are migrating right now. And 2 weeks ago we were on the Taylor Highway. No, 2 weeks ago we were on the Top of the World Highway, where they migrate across that road also. That's 400 or 500 miles east of us right now. So the caribou make quite a trip. They come up here in the summer. I'll see if I can remember. I will get you a picture of what they come up here to eat. It's a red lichen that grows on the rocks. And they come over here to eat that in the summer and have their babies. And then they head back east. It's quite the journey. Into Canada, believe it or not, or where they winter over. Which, I don't know why they do that. Maybe it's warmer there, I don't know. I do not know. But they do it every year. And the 40-mile herd, I don't know how big the 40-mile herd is, but there's herds of caribou up here that number in the hundreds of thousands, as in like 500,000 head of current caribou in a single herd. Those are probably further north. I can attest to this. When I was on the slope one time, the caribou had discovered that they could cross the Cabarrus River Bridge without getting wet in the Cabarrus River. And for 3 days was a constant stream of caribou as far as the eye could see in all directions, crossing at the choke point of the Cabarrus River Bridge. All activity on the north slope stopped because the caribou were moving through. And it's against the rules to harass a caribou, or any wild animal in the oil patch for that matter. And simply driving by them is harassing them. So, pretty much everybody had to stop and wait for the caribou migration to pass so that we could all go back to work. There's no way we would have gotten them off that bridge anyway. They were bound and determined to cross there, and they did. Fortunately, I was dropped on the Kaparik side, and Kaparik has a great spike room with great hot dogs, so I was kind of in heaven for 3 days. And I'm sure it was overtime, because most of my work on the slope was 3:49. All right, we're making some headway on our gas mileage. I don't want to lose any going up this hill, so we're going to go up it slow. Because I don't want to lose any fuel economy. We did this in Canada, remember? Except in Canada, I still had the Aux gas. Here I don't. Because I just used it all to get the last 60 miles to Coldfoot. Kind of ironic, right there's the pipeline, and it's flowing, I don't know, 1 million barrels of oil a day, and I'm sweating running out of gas. I'm not sweating too hard. Makes me wish I had another spare can. So we're gonna have to put that on the old list of improvements to make. Probably just hang it on the other side and keep it empty most of the time, except when I know I'm going to do stupid shit like this. There's no reason to carry around all that extra weight if I'm not going to be doing this on a regular basis. Which, of course, I'm not. But, yeah, I know, it's me. I'll be doing this regularly. I kind of always do. Except I rarely sweat gas. The Jeep just is so atrocious on gas mileage and has a 20-gallon tank, which is just not big enough for only getting 12 miles to the gallon or less. 12.2 currently. It's not bad. So a bigger fuel tank for the Jeep would be cool. Or this is getting out there because it will necessitate the need for other modifications. I could put a 50 or 100-gallon fuel tank in the bed of the Jeep, hide it real nice, build everything else around it, make sure it's sealed really good, blah blah blah, and just keep it there for the just in case moments. Like this one. Arctic Circle. Did any of you make a good comment as to what the significance is of the Arctic Circle? I will check. Maybe I won't even tell anyone, but I'll tell you in the next video. So if you don't know and you don't feel like Googling it, come watch the next video and I will tell you what the significance is of the imaginary line around the world called the Arctic Circle. Road jiggled my earbud out of my ear. I hate it when that happens. Happy dreary Tuesday morning. It is August 19th. We are just south of Coldfoot, Alaska, on the world famous Dalton Highway. We made it in here last night, I don't know, after rescuing a few tourists. I think I finally settled down about midnight last night. Slept through the night. It is 46 degrees and raining. It was a good night though. Kind of up in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Very beautiful drive, even in the rain. So anyway, we're gonna head south today. I'm bored with the Dalton Highway, so we're gonna try a little different place tonight. I think we're gonna stay out tonight again. Also, in fact, I know we're gonna stay out again tonight. Also, just don't know where yet. So, come along and find out with me. The focus of this little trip was to do a little prospecting, and I haven't been filming that because I'm not 100% sure I'm doing it in a legal manner. And my rule is never film yourself committing a felony or any other crime for that matter. Or how about just don't do a crime if you can avoid it. But you know how rules and regulations are, and sometimes they're just a little too much to completely comprehend. So sometimes, despite my best of intentions, I might be brushing up against a law or a rule or just pissing somebody off. And, you know, if you can avoid that, avoid it. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, we're going to go to an area where I know it's legal and we're going to get serious about it. I've got 3 or 4 sample buckets left to fill, and that's kind of my process. And then we'll be labeled and we'll pan them out at home and see what happens. I think this is, I don't know, this is probably the most efficient way to do it. That, and I can do it at home. I can do the panning, which is the tedious process, at home in a warm garage or a warm greenhouse. So we're going to do it that way. But anyway, you know I'm in gold country. You know I've been in gold country for a couple of weeks now. And this is serious attempt number 1. I've done a lot of exploring. I've done a lot of little looking around. Haven't really dug much dirt. On this trip, I'm digging some dirt. So let's have some fun and find some gold. You all don't care, but we got mirrors. We haven't had mirrors. We haven't had mirrors in a couple hundred miles because I've been too lazy to clean them. But now we got mirrors. And we're back on the Hall Road.
Slope Hall Road.
Alright, I will. North Slope Hall Road. If she's got the name
Continue for
right.
128 miles.
Well, we're down to only being 10 miles short on fuel. This is the Yukon crossing.
Take the next left toward Alaska 11 South, North Slope Hall Road, then turn right.
It sort of says they have fuel here. We'll find out. This other Jeep seems to think there's fuel here. There's the Yukon crossing. Wait a minute. There's the Yukon crossing the bridge. Fueling area. Yukon River Camp. Okay. This is definitely not here most of the year.
Head southwest toward Alaska 11 South, North Slope Hall Road. Southwest toward Alaska 11 South, North Slope Hall Road.
Oh, shut up.
Your route may be affected by Central Alaska wildfires.
Those have been out for a week. All right, here we are at the fueling station at the Yukon, and it is $7.49 a gallon. So we're not going to take a bunch of it, but check it out. All right, well, do not enter.
Head
Range traffic
northwest toward
one way.
Alaska
I don't know
11
what the
South,
hell that
North
means.
Slope Hall Road.
Well, we're not going to enter just cause. And because these guys are way bigger than us, and they tend to get pissed off if you get in their way. I don't know why. They're hourly employees. Seems like a delay would be good for them. But we are. Jesus. We are at the Yukon River, where the Dalton Highway crosses the Yukon River, and you're about to see it. We did this yesterday in the other direction, but you know.
Take the next right onto Alaska 11 South, North Slope Hall Road.
Like I said once before,
Continue for 124 miles.
you can't escape road construction. No, I meant what I said once before was that the road looks looks different from a different direction. Interesting.
Crossing the Yukon River, in case you didn't notice. There it is. Or on this rickety old bridge, which I guess they're fixing to make less rickety. Wow, that's one big ass river. Can't even imagine how much damage this bridge takes. So we're stopped here waiting on this guy because this guy is a little bit bigger than us. There's the lead truck. He's there just in case they need pulling. And oh, maybe not. He's there in case they need gravel, I guess. This is the traffic. This is the traffic that got around the big guy coming up the hill or something. I don't know, but here's the big boy. Probably a communications module. Exactly what he is, but he's big and heavy, so probably not a communications module, probably more like a gas compression module or some kind of pump module, or who knows. It's shrink wrapped so we won't see it, but it's a big boy. Oh, check him out. And just because one was not enough, oh, he's getting pushed by a truck. That's cool. Okay. Like Gold Express. I know where they are.
All right, decisions have been made. We are going to go to Manley Hot Springs. Pretty good authority. There's fuel there. Not that we're sweating it, but we're sweating it always. And it's only 80 miles away. And I've never been there. Which, as you probably know by now, in my life is pretty rare. So, gonna cross this one off the list. This is one of those places that I drove by 100 times and said, I'll go there someday. And now I'm going there someday. Now is someday something. So this is the road to Manley. Great. It's more Hall Road.
Affected by Central Alaska wildfires.
They've been out for a week, bitch. Shut up.